Hey.
Howdy do.
Good evening, gentlemen. How's it going?
Yeah. Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. It all feels like it's been a little bit last minute again tonight, to be honest.
What?
Me.
We planned this hours in advance.
We do. Hours and hours in advance. Well, the thing is, with the system that we use, I can schedule the show really early, but the past 2 weeks I've literally just scheduled it 10 minutes before we go on it. So apologies that folks out there that you're not able to share or see the link beforehand. But yeah, the next couple of weeks we'll make sure that we do that ahead of time, because in 2 weeks' time Mickey Lewis will be joining us on the show.
Hey.
Mickey did some work in Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, I believe. So he'll be coming on to chat about his experiences. I know for a fact he's got at least one good story about Carrie Fisher. So that'll be one to look forward to. And he's a cracking bloke as well. So that'll be in 2 weeks. That'll be in 2 weeks' time. Oh, stream elements on Twitch. Wow. We got so just to let you know, folks, that we're streaming for the first time tonight in ages, a long time, on Twitch. So thank you very much to Stream Elements for giving us a shout out there. Very kind of you. Abel Paul is saying start. Is that we're not listening to the music as it was going along during the intro? Because if you weren't, you really should do, because the intro is very good. The music's excellent.
I think it's one of the best pieces I've ever written, and I think it's to do an Alan Partridge. I think it's one of the best pieces I've ever heard.
It is. It's
I'm joking. I'm just doing it.
It's absolutely brilliant.
I'm just doing a Partridge joke. Please don't read into that.
But no, I'll just read into the fact that I think it's. I also agree that it's the bomb as far as
cheers, fellas.
So yeah, no problem at all. So
I pretend that John wrote it. He's there. Where is he? Over there.
There he is. Still in the corner.
Nobody puts John in the corner.
Except you.
Yeah. I think I've earned my John Williams fan stripes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think you're up there as number one, surely.
I hope so. I'd like to think so. Brian's with us.
He is. Yeah. Hey up, lads.
Hang on. There he is.
YouTube.
Nice one. Cheers, Brian. Good to see you. Right. So
every time I read his name, I hear Stewie Griffin in my head going, Brian. Just can't help it.
Easy done. Yeah. So what do you want to get into first? Do you want to get into this? The big news about the cancellation, or should we start with some of the other bits and pieces?
Start small and go up, you reckon?
Start small and go up, yeah. So
start small, start at the bottom, work our way up.
Okay. Should we? Are we starting with the High Republic, or is that's going to go big, isn't it?
It's called the High Republic, but we're starting very low. It's a contradictory of terms. Contradiction.
It is a contradiction of terms. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll start with something light. We'll go with Liam Neeson again. I am hearing some echo there, Matt. So I don't know if you want to consider me going back to the phones.
Yeah. All right.
Right. So I think we talked. Did we discuss Liam Neeson last week?
Yeah,
we did discuss Liam Neeson back last week, but he has been back in the news. So let's talk about that one first. This is taken from the Daily Express, I think.
Yeah, the press have not left him alone, I don't think.
Yeah.
Keep mithering him.
Here we go. So have a look at this, folks. Liam Neeson finally gives his honest verdict on returning as Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm just going to do this while you sort that out, Matt. 1 minute. Okay. Liam Neeson finally gives his honest verdict on returning as Qui-Gon Jinn. Star Wars lost a number of valiant heroes over the course of the 9 mainline films so far, but Liam Neeson has confirmed he would be open to returning to the franchise after being killed off in Episode 1 almost 22 years later.
Just while we're on that, do you remember the buying the soundtrack to The Phantom Menace before you watched the film, and track 15 was Qui-Gon's Noble End? Did that happen to you? Because I had it ruined for me. It's my own fault for being so into the music.
I remember that being a thing, but I honestly can't remember if I got the soundtrack before I saw the film. I would normally do that.
Very wise. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't pick up. Try to resist picking up the soundtrack until you've watched the movie, whatever movie it is.
Okay. Huge spoilers.
Thanks, John.
Let's go back. Let's go.
I'm assuming John picked the names of the tracks.
He must do.
I think so. Yeah.
Right, so Star Wars Episode 1 ushered in a new era of Jedi as the beginning of the Skywalker saga was shown in the cinematic form. It wasn't a completely joyous movie, though, as a number of characters were killed off, the biggest of which was the brutal death of Qui-Gon Jinn, played by Liam Neeson. Now, over 20 years after The Phantom Menace, Neeson himself has explained that he would be open to returning the franchise in one way or another. Speaking in a recent interview, Neeson was asked about his time on the franchise, to which he explained he was unaware of the fervor around his character. When asked if he was aware of how badly fans wanted to see his iconic character return, Neeson replied, "I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard that at all." Despite simply not knowing how badly fans want to see him on screen as the heroic Jedi Master once again, he said he was keen to sign up for a return. He coolly said, "Sure, I'd be up for that." Neeson's character is perhaps so interesting because he is the leader and mentor of the legendary Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan was, of course, introduced in A New Hope in 1977 whilst being played by Alec Guinness. The mantle was later taken up by Ewan McGregor, who has since played the character in 3 films, whilst also having his guise taken up for the animated TV series that follows Star Wars The Clone Wars. Despite the fact fans have seen Obi-Wan a lot in Star Wars mythos, his upbringing and training is a mystery. So then a deeper dive into his backstory could be explored in the upcoming TV series titled Kenobi. The upcoming TV series is set to further explore Obi-Wan's life between Episode 3 and Episode 5 Episode 4 in more detail, approximately 20 years. And so far, it has already been confirmed that former Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader star Hayden Christensen is set to be joining McGregor in the show. So then it would make a lot of sense to welcome Neeson back into the timeline as Qui-Gon Jinn. Considering McGregor previously confirmed he had been lying about his involvement in Kenobi for years, could Neeson have also been pulling the wool over fans' eyes? Kenobi is going to be getting all of the classic Jedi back together, and Neeson's presence would certainly be welcome. In the meantime, further discussion has recently been had about another Star Wars TV show on Disney Plus, Andor. Andor continues the story of Cassian Andor, who last appeared in Rogue One. A Star Wars story. K2SO actor Alan Tudyk recently spoke up about his involvement in the show and whether fans can expect to see him sometime soon. The actor explained that he has not filmed anything for the upcoming series, saying, "They're shooting it right now. I'm not part of it." Is that because he's a bit of a cock? Despite this, he went on to tease, "But if it stays on air, stories keep getting told, I'll end up in there. I'm going to be in the show. It's just that the story Tony Gilroy is telling, the stories he's telling doesn't involve K2SO till later on." So there you go.
It would be ridiculous from a continuity point of view to have Yoda in Revenge of the Sith say, "How to commune with Qui-Gon, I will teach you," to Obi-Wan, and then the Obi-Wan show doesn't include anything from Qui-Gon.
Well, yeah, totally.
Matt, you muted, mate.
Oh, sorry. That's me.
I could see you talking. You were, weren't you?
Yes, I was. You should have heard what I had to say just then. It was amazing. I cannot.
You can't remember it, though.
No.
Sorry, mate. Say that again.
No, it's all right. No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Also, the article didn't say he was a Force ghost in the Clone Wars. He appears in the Clone Wars as a Force ghost, and it's actually Liam Neeson, isn't it?
Yeah, I do.
And his voice is heard at the end of the Rise of Palpatine. Sorry, Rise of Disappointment. Sorry, Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Disappointment.
Yeah, he's I can't remember what he says. I haven't seen it that many times.
Right.
He says something to Rey's like, "We are with you, Rey."
You're too overpowered.
Yeah.
Why are you so powerful?
Imagine he just, I can't do a Liam Neeson impression, but imagine he was like, "Fuck me, you're powerful."
Yeah, you gotta channel your Frank Carson. He's a Belfast guy, isn't he? You know,
right?
Liam Neeson.
It's a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame we lost Qui-Gon in Phantom Menace because he is. I like him as a character.
He's a great character. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if Disney want to go back and do a younger version of him and tell that tale, there's a lot there, isn't there? You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he had to for plot. He had to go. You won't have the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, so he had to go. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
At least he was taken out by a formidable force. Ray Park.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Ray Park killed him.
Ray Park did kill him. Yeah, I mean, I would be up for and interested in seeing some of how Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, how they got together.
And the training and maybe how Obi-Wan's identified and what his backstory is and stuff.
They probably have to do recasts there unless they're waiting for this technology to catch up for de-aging them, you know.
It's pretty good there now, isn't it? I mean,
it's getting there.
The Irishman and stuff.
People on YouTube than actual Lucasfilm or Disney, you know. There's a video released a couple of days ago. These guys in the States who took the end Mandalorian and actually reshot, got a guy to stand in as Luke and reshot the whole scene, but with their own technology doing the face. You know, I mean, it looked a bit too skinny, but it was so much better in the eyes. I mean, it looked like young Mark Hamill, obviously, but it was so much better in the eyes, and it looks more alive. You know, it didn't look CGI.
Some of these deepfake things are just insanely good. You got to wonder why they don't bring more fans in.
Yeah. Bring these people in.
You know,
geniuses.
But there you go. So moving right along, we didn't do this to start off with. Let's move along with some of this. Right-a-ho. So this would be a gaming one, which is something for you two boys. This is Ubisoft Star Wars. Okie dokie. There we go. Yeah, so this is taken from MSN.com. What we want from the
MSN is still going.
Yeah, apparently. Mental, isn't it?
I feel so nostalgic right now.
Messenger.
Oh, the memories.
For MSN Messenger. Oh, the memories.
Yeah.
Oh, the memories. Really, really, really dodgy webcam memories. What we want from Ubisoft Star Wars Lucasfilm Games open world adventure. The Ubisoft Star Wars Lucasfilm Games title was only recently announced, but naturally it got our head spinning with possibilities. With Ubisoft Massive, the studio behind Division 2, at its helm, and the newly rebranded Lucasfilm Games working closely with them, we are certainly expecting a lot out of the open world adventure. Since Star Wars 1313, has been a glimpse in the gaming rear view for close to a decade, Star Wars fans and gamers across the globe have a well of ideas for this upcoming games. Star Wars 1313 was meant to follow bounty hunter Boba Fett as he navigated the dark criminal underbelly of Coruscant, and would have given players a chance to enjoy Boba Fett's impressive arsenal of weapons, including a flamethrower, jetpack, and his classic blaster. It was in development at LucasArts before the company was acquired by Disney, but was subsequently cancelled when Disney shut down LucasArts and laid off its staff in April 2013. Now, with Lucasfilm Games Studio newly announced and the Ubisoft title on its way, we know that the chance to have a game similar in scope to Star Wars 1313 is greater than ever before. But what exactly should the Ubisoft Star Wars Lucasfilm Games open world game contain? What kind of features would we like to see, or gameplay elements that are an absolute necessity? Here are 5 things that we want in the upcoming Ubisoft Star Wars title. 1. A fully explorable Star Wars universe. As Cory Barlog tweeted back in December 2020, I'm unsure who that is, but still, there's a burning desire among Star Wars fans for a single-player game that has you flying your ship from system to system, picking up bounties. While Barlog's tweet details a game that centers around the Mandalorian, most Star Wars gamers would be happy with an explorable Star Wars universe. Period. That's why the Fallout New Vegas Star Wars mod is so wildly popular, as it gives gamers the chance to fully explore and immerse themselves in a Star Wars RPG. And that's ultimately all we want to enjoy with the power of ray tracing and better SSDs in PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC, a fully explorable Star Wars universe that we can get lost in. 2. A bevy of weapons. One of the reasons Star Wars 1313 captured the collective consciousness of the gaming community was that it was a Star Wars game that seemed to be entirely without lightsabers. There's a collection of amazing weapons in the Star Wars world, from chic blasters to the Mandalorian's whistling birds to the Z6 riot control baton. Is that thing with the lightning on?
I'm not sure.
Z6 riot control baton.
No idea.
I don't know. If it is, I don't like that weapon. Anyway, while wielding a lightsaber with increasing...
that cattle prod thing that attacks Finn in The Force Awakens?
Yeah, but they kind of did it before in the prequels as well. Yeah.
Grievous's henchmen have them, don't they?
Yeah,
that's right. Just looks shit. I don't like it. But anyway, whilst wielding a lightsaber with increasing deftness in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is incredibly fun, the notion of a bevy of Star Wars weapons at your character's disposal is enticing. Imagine skill trees that let you choose to hone your craft at specific types of weapons. Beskar staff, please. Rather than being relegated to just using one weapon the entire time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
3. A new, fully customizable character. As much as I love an Ahsoka Tano video game, especially since she actually goes 1313 on Star Wars The Clone Wars, a game from the Division creators, brackets, and any good RPG, will likely give you free reign to create your own character. What this upcoming Ubisoft Star Wars game should do is let you pick from a variety of alien species as well as alien protagonists. Alien protagonists are hard to come by in this universe. Who wouldn't want to play through an entire Star Wars game as their very own Twi'lek? So there you go. 4. Vehicles on vehicles. Give us pod racing, give us speeder bikes, give us AT-ATs, and so much more. Let us use the smorgasbord of spaceships to travel between planets and navigate the surface of those planets with the occasional land-based vehicle. We may have Star Wars squadrons to scratch our dogfighting itch, but there are Star Wars games that let you get behind the wheel of a speeder or an AT-AT for more than just a few moments. I'd love to zip from waypoint to waypoint aboard a custom speeder, especially if this upcoming Ubisoft Star Wars title has maps the size of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If the maps are more Division 2 size, then that just means we'll get a better chance to explore much more detailed cities rather than the somewhat barren cities of Valhalla. Either way, we should have a bevy of vehicles at our disposal. 5 Destiny level live service features. The Division titles are games as service, offering players a chance to return to the game to take part in daily tasks to earn new content or loot, or to build on their existing characters, or take part in PvP matchmaking. I don't know what you're talking about. Well,
player versus
player what?
Player versus player matchmaking.
Player versus player.
Online, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. Right. While it hasn't been outright stated that the Ubisoft Star Wars game will be a live service title, considering Ubisoft Massive is at the helm, Ubisoft Massive is at the helm, it's certainly likely. If that's the case, this should be a Destiny level live service game with major updates occurring once a year and frequent smaller updates keeping the title fresh. Give us a chance to earn some cool new gear or visit a new planet every once in a while. If you expand upon the existing world semi-frequently, and you'll have a game that can last years. Just look at Destiny 2. However, if the live service features don't manage to offer that specific mix of static campaign content and new post-campaign features, you'll find people fleeing the Star Wars universe faster than you can say McClunky.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you think, Andy?
Go, boys, go.
What?
Well, I mean, I thought the rumours were that it was going to be another Knights of the Old Republic game.
Yeah, I read that as well. So maybe that's something else. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, you mean like this could be open world, but it's the Knights of the Old Republic era?
Well, yeah, almost like a Knights of the Old Republic 3, possibly open world.
Do you remember when the trailer dropped for 1313?
Yeah.
It was pretty much just Uncharted in Star Wars, wasn't it?
Pretty much. Not that I played Uncharted, but yeah.
I was looking forward to it. I was a bit gutted when they announced that was because I just finished.
Why was that canon?
No one. It was very close to the end. We had demos. There was trailers. There was gameplay.
Yeah.
I think so far as I think it was even scored. That's how late on in the day it was.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what's gone on there. But 1313, for people who don't know, is it's in the Clone Wars as well. They alluded to it there. It's the Bowels of Coruscant, and 1313 is the level that they were going to in the game, and that's where Ahsoka goes in the season 5 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
season finale where she goes on the run. So yeah, when I saw that episode of Clone Wars, I was like, I really want that game now. That never happened.
Yeah.
Such a shame. But the thing is, I remember when Battlefront, the first Battlefront came out in 2015, the EA one, the DICE one, and I got the impression, and a lot of people were saying this at the time, that Disney were more interested in the game looking great rather than it being big and expansive. So people saying, oh, it's going to be big like Assassin's Creed and all these other titles. These other titles, they don't look as good in gameplay, in my opinion, as Battlefront 2 does. Now, to get Battlefront 2 looking Star Wars on a huge scale, I don't think our consoles can cope. So I think people are getting a little bit carried away with their wish lists. Now, if they're right and I'm wrong, I will be very happy to be wrong. But
I don't think we've seen what these new consoles can actually do yet.
No.
I mean, they're new.
Essentially, they are. This has been the case for a long time with games consoles. Is they're just what the standard PC cost you like 5 or 6 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like the console.
I think with the Series X and S, you wouldn't be able to buy a PC with the same sort of specs for that same price. You'd be paying double, if not triple. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've basically got a high-end PC if you buy, like for gaming, if you buy one of these new consoles. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with them, like game wise, coming in the future. I mean, the new Star Wars game that's open world will be bloody awesome. It will be. And if it's the Knights of the Old Republic, I mean, that's what we want. I can't see it being Knights of the Old Republic because that's Legends, isn't it?
Well, no, they can.
Or is it?
Yeah, it is. Technically, yeah, it is, but they might want to do their own stamp on it, which I imagine they do.
Yeah.
But you know, people are very, very, very. I've never played this game, but the Knights of the Old Republic game with Darth, what's he called, Revan in it.
Revan. Yeah,
I think that's the most popular story of the Old Republic.
Is it Darth Nihilus in the second one?
Yeah,
or Nihilus and Revan are the yeah. I've just started playing the second one again.
Did you say? Did you say Darth Nihilus? Did you say Darth Nihilist?
Nihilus.
Oh, Nihilist. I thought you said Nihilist. I was like, gosh, that must be exhausting. Anyway, go on.
If they get, you know, deleted like Disney have done with the other EU, the game fans will be very angry. However, I think they've already done it.
Well, they haven't they, really?
Because they don't want people knowing the stories of new stuff that's coming. And to be honest, I totally understand that from a business point of view. And they are a business, unfortunately. They have to think about profit and money first. And people
which don't seem to be thinking about a lot. I've got to say. No, anyway, that's another story, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that, from a business point of view, just releasing a story that's already happened isn't engaging. Like the thing is with the Saturday matinee serials, what Star Wars was based on is that cliffhanger. Like you cannot wait to find out what happens next week. So I can see why they don't want to just copy something from the old, now deleted EU. I understand it, but what we're getting, people aren't happy with. So.
Well, exactly right. Yeah. So
some fans would just say, "Well, Andy, I'd rather have a copy of what we've had in the books for 30 years," and I'm like, "Fair enough." You know,
I mean, the books were popular, you know, and why not? You know, I mean,
I read quite a few of them because there was a drought of Star Wars.
Yeah, the movie Titanic was popular. I mean, everybody knows what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I remember that. I remember in the trailer, it actually shows the shot where it starts to go down, and I was like, "Whoa!" Spoiler alert.
Yeah. It sank. Oh my word!
Have you seen the George Lucas special edition of the Titanic?
No.
Right, you should. Later on, you should put it on YouTube. Someone's put TIE fighters in it, like attacking it, and that's why it splits. And there's loads of explosions. There's the George Lucas special edition, and then there's the Michael Bay version, which you can imagine what the Michael Bay
big explosions. Yeah.
The funniest Michael Bay
60 pans around the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember that video, the making of the Phantom Menace, where George is stood with Frank Oz, and he's almost complaining, like he says, "We'll never be able to beat Titanic," and it's like, your film isn't even out yet, George, and you're like, you already, you don't look happy at all.
No.
Then again, that's George. Have you seen George's
I may have gone
AFI, a lifetime achievement? Like Richard Dreyfuss comes out on stage, and I've never seen someone look more miserable. George,
really? Yeah.
Yeah, he's
almost on a par with Harrison, isn't he? Really?
No, I think Harrison's much happier in comparison.
Much happier. Yeah. He's almost ecstatic on his next.
I know what he's saying about Harrison when he's not happy or he's just winding people up. Then he does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But George,
he can very downplayed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think George, it's not it's like Harrison, it's intentional, it's for humor. But with George, it's just the guy looks so miserable.
He perks up when Kerry comes on though, but her bit on that AFI thing is absolutely genius.
Yeah. It's gold, isn't it?
It's I watch that quite often. It's so good.
I do like George.
Coming in, just a quick one. Jimbo.
Hi James.
Hi James. How's it going? That's James from Donkey Stone, everyone.
Hey, James.
Hello there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you guys get what you want out of the Star Wars game, I'm more than happy, because I haven't got a clue. I probably won't play it because
you're not a gamer.
I'm rubbish. I'm just rubbish with games now.
You're one of those.
You can play
shooting game. You're running around looking at the sky, or then the floor, or then the sky.
That's what my gameplay looks like.
Yeah, but Paddy, are you aware that you can play as Bespin Han Solo?
I know, I've seen that, and I'd love to do that.
That's the skin I use for Han on Battlefront. Not that anybody asked. I refuse. Just because I respect and love Patrick O'Hare so much, I will not put the Solo skin on from. Yeah.
Good man. Thank you very much.
Yes.
That's pure respect. That's
this is not something we're going to be covering on this episode, but yeah, before we came on air, I saw a rumor that there's going to be a Solo 2.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sorry, but yeah, I'm happy.
In fact, we will,
because the first one did so well.
It did. I bought it on 4K. What more? I think that's success.
Oh god.
Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, James has got a comment here. Let's have a look at this. The lads who make the Far Cry series are making it so it'll be a fantastic game. Can't wait.
Well, yeah. Those Far Cry games are
is that Ubisoft do those?
Yeah, the big open world games are massive, and again, you can get into vehicles, go driving around, jump out of a vehicle, explosions everywhere. Yeah, if they're doing it, it's going to be similar to a Far Cry game, but Star Wars.
Just quickly before we leave the game thing, a question to Matt.
Yeah.
Do you think it should just be scoundrels and bounty hunters and not have Sith and Jedi in it, because they're so powerful? For like parity's sake.
Could do. I mean, it depends what kind of storyline they go with, isn't it? I mean, you could start off as just a Force sensitive non-Jedi and work your way up, going through all the trials and tribulations of what a Padawan would go through, but in an open world sort of, I
mean, that'd be cool, but then you've got other people in this open world who are just bounty hunters, and it's like those Jedi are going to have a massive advantage.
Yeah.
Like I'd say do what you just described, and then leave the bounty hunter version till later, or the other way around.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have players who can be Sith and Jedi.
No.
But and then just a random bounty hunter.
I mean, Far Cry's, I think they do have multiplayer as an option for just, messing around. But it's generally a single-player, story-driven game.
Yeah.
So if you're playing as a Jedi, I don't know, in a single-player universe, it could work. I don't know. We shall see.
I just feel like one would have to compromise the other just to balance it out, and I feel like that would diminish. Yeah. From a story point of view, it diminishes the power of the Sith and the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, like in the old Knights of the Old Republic games, you start off as like a scoundrel or something, don't you?
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, or you're suffering from memory loss. You don't know who you were, and all this sort of
spoilers.
Yeah. The game's so old, man. It's so old.
I know, but the twist is so good.
It is. Yeah,
it's possibly one of the best Star Wars twists since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, those characters are still popular today. I mean, they still make figures, but Black Series make figures of them and all this sort of stuff. So I mean, they're pretty popular. Even they're not really canon per se, but yeah, they still make.
They could be
merchandise.
Do you remember that line Dave Filoni wrote for Ahsoka to say in Rebels? She says something like, "In my experience, there's always some truth in legends." And I was like, "That's Dave talking to the fans."
Right.
Nice.
And then the season after that, I believe, is when Thrawn returned.
Okay, yeah.
So that was Dave setting us up for some. I'm just going to pull something out of Legends here.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're obviously okay with it. So
yeah, I remember it being huge at Celebration that as well. People were so pumped about Thrawn.
Yeah.
So
casual fans are like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, because
who's this blue guy? What? I don't remember him from the movies.
Anyway, move along.
Move along.
Now then. So this is from boundingintocomics.com once again.
Yeah.
This is bonkers. But yeah, Justified author John Del Arroz claims Disney's marketing strategy for Star Wars The High Republic is calling fans racist.
Racialists.
Now then, Justified creator John Del Arroz recently claimed that Disney and Lucasfilm's marketing strategy for Star Wars The High Republic is calling fans racist. This is a YouTube video as well that is showing there, which obviously we're not going to watch. So by all means, dump in there and give it a watch. Obviously after the show. Del Arroz claim comes after Banning Into Comics reported on a number of tweets from newly announced Star Wars The High Republic host Christina Ariel. There she is again, folks, back in the news, where she claimed white people are racist. In one tweet, Ariel wrote, "White people, fucking stop it. Your racism won't save you. Your ignorance is not an excuse." That's while she was sharing something. In another, she specifically took issue with white conservatives and then President Donald Trump. And hey, who's not going to take umbrage with President Trump? She wrote, "White conservatives, please stop invoking racism like you give a shit. You don't. You just want to be able to say, what about when somebody calls out 45 and is blatant racism?" Ariel also took issue with white women writing, "Just a reminder that white women are just as complicit in the upholding and enforcing of white supremacy." The official Star Wars account would then endorse Ariel's comments about white people. They wrote, "Our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity. We do not stand for bullying and racism. We support Christina Ariel." Del Arroz begins his video stating, "At this point, these marketing campaigns are very obviously coordinated. I'll be surprised if anyone falls for this one." He would later describe Ariel's tweets. "Yesterday, we talked about this whole Disney kerfuffle, if you want to call it that, where this new host to talk about this High Republic stuff, which nobody's interested in, is all up on Twitter, going off on white people, saying awful things about white people, swearing about white people, and being extremely racist in general. And yes, that is the accurate definition of racism, is when you talk about an entire race and do so negatively and with prejudice. So she is in fact being racist." The Justified author continues, "What happened was Banning Into Comics called out the situation, and then the media went into overdrive because, of course, the backlash she got from it being awful, which she should just apologize. Or if this happened in reverse, the person would be fired, of course. But instead, the media is attacking the people who are upset, being called awful things by this lady. They are righteously upset here. But this has been the game plan all along. She probably did these racist things intentionally. And I think it is a marketing stunt because nobody is interested in this Disney High Republic stuff. If you've gone through and even pursued it, it just looks like an awful outing. And it's very clear that they are pushing people in there as diversity hires intentionally. It's sort of an Al Sharpton shakedown with science fiction, and nobody is going to want it, he stated. The author of the recently announced AI Wars comic then said, and so because nobody is in advance going to want it, they're going to try and make a political cause out of it in order to generate sales. It worked very well for the Captain Marvel movie because they knew that the movie was needing some help because it was a tertiary character that people invested in. So they trotted Brie Larson out there to say controversial things in order to gain free promotion from the press out of this, and to get people to get hyped up on the political end, so that they are backing the cause. And that's what's happened with that movie, and it worked very well. So this is the playbook at this point, and they are doing it again, he explained. He then points out to another example with the BBC. And of course, the BBC did the exact same thing. Racist abuse. Wait a minute. She was the one being the racist abuser. She was calling out white fans off for people to start before anyone came back at her and was upset about that. But of course, the BBC will not show this and will not report it. They'll only do this sort of stuff. He then reads off a tweet from Ariel from back in June that reads, "And I was not in such a good mood. White people, you do not get to absolve people of racism. You do not get to point out their growth when they say Black Lives Matter after treating us as if we don't. You don't get to accept apologies on our behalf. They shouldn't need to be said." While reading the tweet, Del Arias comments, "There is no forgiveness whatsoever. This perceived nonsense is." The Does Vault author, he's for an author, he's the quotes are like, they don't flow at all. The Des Vault author adds, "But this is not one of the more offensive tweets that she was going off on that people are upset about. She was literally swearing at white people." Getting back to the media narrative surrounding Ariel, Del Arroz said, "Of course, they want to downplay anything she did in order to do that." He then concludes, "But yes, this is just a marketing gimmick for Disney at the end of the day, because there is no talk about the High Republic that is positive. Nobody's interested in the comics. Nobody's interested in the books. Nobody's interested in the show discussing the comics and books. And so they have to try and make some sort of cause about it in order to get people interested. It's a tired tactic at this point." What do you make of Del Arias' claims that the calling fans racist is part of Disney and Star Wars marketing scheme for the High Republic?
Has she said exactly why fans are racist?
No.
I don't know if it was it specifically she was talking about fans being racist, or was she just kind of generally sort of doing the white people can't really absolve themselves from racism type thing?
But is she linking it with this High Republic thing, or is this just a historic feeling she's got? Because that's how it sounds to me.
Yeah, I think this is things she's said before, and then before she became the host of the High Republic, but then kind of it's been picked up on, and then Disney have put it in the forefront, saying we stand with her.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the irony of it is that Disney put out that, or Lucasfilm, the official Star Wars account, put out that tweet saying we stand with her. And in all the a lot of these replies in that tweet, which was about not bullying people, were targeting what's she called? Cara Dune, from what's she called? The
Gina
actress.
Carano.
Gina Carano, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're all calling out for her to be fired and calling her a phobe and a nist and all this sort of stuff, which she's absolutely not. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. Except it's in their little imaginations, But yeah, back to Ariel. What do you think of those tweets? I mean,
generalizing a group, generalizing people that you've never met before is not a healthy attitude to have in life, regardless of what industry or walk of life you have. To generalize, I mean, Star Wars, I could be wrong, I don't know the facts on this, but I think it's the biggest fandom ever, isn't it? It's bigger than if not, probably. It's in the top 5, let's say.
Oh yeah.
Things to be fans of. Like James Bond, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, all that stuff. That's a massive amount of people, and to generalize like that is.
The way I look at it is, she said, she's like, it's white people this, white people that, white people the other.
Yeah.
She didn't caveat it with anything like some white people or certain white people. it was white people. It could have been even better. She could have just said some people.
Yeah.
Without any sort of skin color, whatever. You know, it is racist.
Do you know there's a really good line in Saving Private Ryan. I'm going to go to that for a second, where somebody says Tom Hanks's character, I think he's called Captain Hiller, "Why don't you ever gripe, Captain?" And he said, "I gripe upwards. That's the chain of command. That's the hierarchy. That's what you do." So for me, she's going the wrong way. She needs to be going up. Changing. If there's systematic racism, and I'm not disputing that there isn't, there probably is, but I don't know. This is the thing, I won't call things out if I don't have the evidence, and I don't know. If she has experienced systematic racism, it sounds like she has from a reaction to things and what I'm hearing on Twitter, then she needs to be changing the system, not the people at the bottom. Because I feel like that's the group of people we're talking about on these tweets. I don't know.
Yeah, she's blaming the entire white race for an issue that's in a system. You know, it's.
Hey, she could be right. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm not saying she's right.
Let's just go to a comment.
I just think it's not the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go to a comment here from TechnoWookie on Twitch. Said she was referencing a tweet in her rant. Yeah, she had actually retweeted some tweets with those comments, hadn't she?
It's not just one tweet she's put out
it's
there.
Not.
No. It's multiple tweets.
TechnoWookie is saying it's unrelated to Star Wars. They just stood up.
Thanks, TechnoWookie. This is what I meant. Like, are the tweets that she's saying are related to Star Wars? They're not. But I feel like the media have put that in there just because she's the author of The High Republic.
Well, the media at large, like the mainstream, if you like, the more popular media, are basically protecting her, saying it's the fans attacking her. And I think after all this happened, certain people in the fandom did attack her with racist tweets. Yeah, but in these articles,
people out there.
Of course there are, but it didn't reference her old tweets, so it was pretty unbalanced.
Sure,
you know. So it makes out that people are just attacking her for no reason. Now, don't get me wrong, racism is shit. Anybody who's racist, get the fuck off this channel. You know, I can't stand you. It's the lowest form of stupidity to me. You know, it's it's a terrible thing. But
agreed.
When you say white people suck, white people are all racists, whatever, that is racist. You know, there's no two ways about it. But and after that, she's got a job and she's being supported for it, which is strange to me. Really, it is strange.
Yeah,
because if it was another way around, if it was a white person saying, you know, black people, you're all this and whatever, they'd be fired. They'd be straight out the door.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Do I think, judging by what this, obviously it's a YouTuber that's sparked this discussion that's been picked up on Bound into Comics, isn't it? Who's kind of dissected it in his own way and given his opinion of it, which is obviously, you know, what we're doing here. I mean, the question he asked at the end is like, do we think that Lucasfilm are using racism to help sell The High Republic? I wouldn't go that far, to be honest. What I would say is that, like every other media company, they know that if something controversial is attached to it, it will become clickbaity, blah, blah, blah. People get angry about it. People argue about it online. Therefore, it'll generate interest, and then people may get interested about it. But so in a roundabout way, I would say they're using controversy or things that will definitely stir up an argument within the fandom.
I think it's like there's this theory out there that Lucasfilm is a group divided. You know, there's one side who are concentrating on trying to get Star Wars on the right track, and there's this other side. And there's a pattern. This other side, it's almost believable. These are the ones that are causing the drama. And you look back, and it's the same people, usually, you know, who are attacking the fans in a way.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything from Dave Filoni on Twitter. You don't hear anything from anybody else from that side of, except Gina Carano, who's been brilliant. You know, she's been on somebody's YouTube channel having a chat and a laugh, you know, and all that sort of stuff. But from this other side of Lucasfilm, there's always a drama.
Yeah.
You know, there's always controversy, and I don't think it's purpose. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think it's just them naturally, how they think and how they operate. You know, it's political, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they don't have to go on Twitter and start doing all this nonsense. At the end of the day,
it's just a shame that Star Wars gets dragged into this.
It is a shame.
Toxicity of it. I don't think it's a bad thing for people to express how they feel, and you know that whatever creative person it is involved in anything, not just Star Wars, anything, are well entitled to their opinion. And you know, I can separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I mean, I can as well.
The problem is you bring all this baggage with you when you're a creator of something, and people look at your views and then use what you write or create, whatever it is, as a reflection of that as well. And it is difficult.
I agree. There is a confusing and there is a thing where they don't separate out the art from the artist. You know, and that can happen retrospectively if somebody's who's created stuff that's been loved over the years turns out to be whatever they turn out to be. Then you know all that stuff gets cancelled. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? And you know, yes, she's a host of a show. Does that make the show racist or whatever? No, it's just she's just there doing a job and talking and saying what she's told to say. Whatever.
Yeah, but she's only a small part of this group of people, and even some of the authors, like we spoken about before, even some of the authors have been quite heated on Twitter. What's she called? Justina Ireland. She's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It puts me right off that side. You know, I might have had a modicum of interest in these books or comics. Yes. But with this BS, going nowhere near it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, hey, if you know, if they are in fact using these kind of tactics to market it and make people interested, then why would you want to be interested in that?
Yeah, exactly.
That would put you off.
Doesn't sound like a good strategy to me.
No, it doesn't sound like a good strategy.
I was not interested before any of the politics anyway.
Truth be told, I wasn't. But you know what I mean.
That's nothing against this new High Republic thing. I said this. I think I said this last week. I was a fan of the Star Wars films. I'm not mad on everything.
Yeah.
So you know, people could say, "Oh, he's anti High Republic." I'm like, no. Well, you could say I'm anti. What was that? What was those books called? Road to the Force Awakens books. I didn't read them either. There's loads of books. Like I didn't read the whole of the Tron trilogy. I didn't read the Crimson Empire books. Doesn't mean I hate that author or their politics or their agenda if they have one.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm a shit Star Wars fan saying I don't like aspects of Star Wars.
Well, no, because no.
Star Wars fans, isn't it? Nobody likes everything.
But that's always been. I think that was why my argument when there was that split with the split, the sequel trilogy fandom and stuff like that.
Yeah,
was that I just remembered like that all of a sudden these arguments were coming up online, and you might get swept into something or whatever. And I would say, and my kind of finite point, if I was like, listen, I don't agree with you, whatever, that's fine, but there was almost this. I'm not sure it exists anymore. I'm sure it still does in some people, but it was kind of that blind, it's Star Wars, so automatically it's brilliant and I've got to love it, and that kind of thing. And I was just like, I was just kind of basically gently sort of saying to these people, look, just because it's got Star Wars splashed on it doesn't mean you have to love it. It's not an automatic indicator that it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
it's still a product. It's subjective. There's still things you're gonna like, and there's still things that you're not gonna like at the end of the day. Now, if this stuff is aimed at kids, like as we said last week, I know we discussed the High Republic a bit last week. It's just the kind of controversy has come up on this. If it's young
adult, isn't it?
Aimed at a younger adult, if they lap it up, brilliant. It brings them into the Star Wars universe. Whatever, that's great. That's positive.
What I will say is,
he's using negativity to try and up the interest in something is not going to work, because as has been proven, I know that. Sorry, just to finish this point, Andy. As has been proven and been shown, I know Matt, you did a little bit of Google Trends research.
Yeah. I'll find that actually. You carry on.
This was. Was it Star Wars: The High Republic searches versus versus Luke Skywalker searches? Obviously, over the excitement of Luke Skywalker's return, and you did it for England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, didn't you? Obviously, which is where we are.
Yeah, just the UK.
Yeah. So if you look,
hang on a minute, sorry.
It's gone then. We had it.
Yeah.
If you look at the trends, anyway, so. The percentage. Bring it back. You have to share that thing in before I can put it back up. So the England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, 92% of the Star Wars, the Star Wars Google. So sorry, is it 97? Yeah, around. It's basically the biggest slice of the pie. Was searches for Luke Skywalker, and
so this is only going back to the 27th of December, so not just a month ago.
Yeah, this is what it was. Sorry, it moves when you pass it over the map. So it was like England, 8% of the Star Wars Google searches were Star Wars: The High Republic, and 92% were Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Scotland, 97% Luke Skywalker, High Republic 3%. Yeah, so it breaks down like that. And Northern Ireland,
100% Luke Skywalker.
Northern Ireland, 100% Luke Skywalker. No interest in the High Republic
whatsoever. Yeah. And Wales is again, 100%. It's and this is the, I don't know what these spikes are. Is this when the High Republic was advertised or released, or when was it?
That spike you're on, that second one, I think that's when the live stream dropped, the video premiere with all the Kathleen Kennedy introducing everybody.
Oh yeah, that's on the 7th, around about the 7th of Jan.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good for that side of Star Wars, really. I mean, this is trending down. Big time. I mean, so is Luke Skywalker there, but Luke Skywalker is always going to be going up again at some point.
There you go. So let's take that out of there. But just
I did do a comparison with the Mandalorian too, and it's the same story.
Fair enough. So just to finish off on this part, I know Brian had a comment had come in there. The way the woke think, lads, they see people by their identity group first, not as individuals.
This is true. Yeah.
I mean,
when you say white people.
Well, let's say, I mean, the woke thing can be a controversial subject, so I don't want to get into it too deeply. But what I would say is, from my point of view, I and I've said, I think I may have even said this last week. I think identity groups are an identity politics are problematic anyway. I think those are the undoing of us, because it's kind of making us all get to a point of self-censorship where we're not allowed to say anything.
It's divisive, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just dividing, so that and that's why when we're doing programs like this, we have to be careful what we're saying, and we're concerned about saying the wrong thing, because anything it's getting to that point where it's coming back to meet itself almost, where we're worried about saying things because they'll probably will say something that'll upset someday. But at the end of the day, as long as it's not really something dark, like I think children should be murdered at the age of 4, or whatever it is, something really dark like that.
Anakin Skywalker likes this comment.
Master Skywalker.
See, somebody's going to use that in the future and use it out of context to get at you.
Yeah, they're going to use it. They're going to use it, aren't they? But so what I'm saying is, like, as long as you're not saying anything like that, if you offend somebody, so what? People are going to get offended. You disagree, you don't have the same opinions, you might get offended, or you might get upset because you disagree.
Yeah.
So what?
The way I look at it as well, if you feel offended by something,
like
that's a television show, you just turn it off, or whatever.
Yeah, it's not, your life is not over. It's not. That's all there is to it for me.
Yeah, but Paddy, you said Solo offended you.
Yeah, and I never make reference to it. I never say anything about the fact that I never call it Star Wars. I can never call it Solo a Star Wars ship pile or anything like that.
Never. I've never heard you want to say that. I'm just going to do my final 20 pence. The to Lucasfilm. If you make a High Republic movie, I won't speak for the other guys, but I will be first. I will be refreshing that page to get tickets for the opening day, because that's what I'm a Star Wars fan of, the movies or a TV show. So yeah. It's just the format for me. That's all the problem is.
That's fair.
But it's not a problem for me. I just don't invest in it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the books and the comics, I'm the same as you, mate. I don't. It's
massive. Really... There's like 1,000 graphic novels, comics, and all sorts. And I'm like,
yeah.
I would think.
I mean, I've still got part 1 of the Tron Trilogy on my shelf upstairs, which I've not opened yet. It's, I love watching Star Wars, reading it.
But you're too busy homeschooling your kids at the moment.
Well, this is true. At the moment,
because little did you know that not only in future were you going to be a father, but you were going to become their teacher as well.
Yeah. Very low paid.
But hey, on the flip side, there are certain other teachers who are still working all the hours that God sends and are very, very busy.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Who are these? Who are these? Who are these people? If you want to change direction, Paddy.
You still? I know I can't do it when I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I need to be pointing this way, but no.
It looks like we're having a lightsaber battle.
Wouldn't it be brilliant if you figure out
Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah, I'd be like, what?
Right. Anyway, so let's move along. Okay.
All right. I've lost that news article. Just give me a sec before you share.
Okay. Which news article have you lost?
The main one we were going for.
Okay. The main one. Okay.
Sequel
Trilogy situation. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh, I become a sequel trilogy defender when this happens. I'm not anymore. I'm not defending it. They've had the money's worth out of me.
That will be your identity group. I'm a sequel trilogy defender.
I'll defend 7 and 8 to a point, but 9, no, I can't defend that.
There's no defense. Okay,
No,
right.
no.
Let's
Here we go.
Let's get to the meat.
Meat and tatties.
I do have to say, it's a lovely picture of Daisy. So, new Star Wars trilogy rumor. Well, first of all, this is from Bounding Into Comics once again. We seem to be picking up a lot of stuff from them. So, hi, Bounding Into Comics. This is not new news, is it? This has been discussed before.
Yeah.
We discussed this in season 4, or when was it? I can't remember.
It was a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it after Rise of Skywalker that this came up for the first time, Andy?
No, I think it came up before that.
Did it?
Yeah.
Before Rise of Skywalker, like Last Jedi?
Yeah, I think it was around summer 2019, the year Rise of Skywalker was coming out, that this started to be on the cards, doing the rounds on Twitter.
Yes. Okay, right. Well, let's see what their take is on it this time, shall we? Yeah. Do like that picture that's created them all together, though. A brand new remake.
Luke looks miserable, though.
Who does?
Luke.
That's because it's Luke. That's because it's Luke from The Last Jedi. He was miserable all the way through it.
I know they could have picked, like, grafted a smile on his face.
It's
turn that frown upside down.
It's Jake Skywalker. A brand new rumor claims that people at Lucasfilm are considering remaking the Star Wars trilogy, and the rumor comes from YouTube at Doomcock. I don't think it'll be your first time, will it, Doomcock, saying this? Anyway.
Matt called him Mike Zero the other week, and I was like, yeah. He's becoming a bit of a Mike Zero now.
Yeah, I said, I know who your source is. Mike Zero, isn't it?
Yeah. I've blocked him so his videos don't appear on my YouTube because they're just
ridiculous. Who, Mike Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah, so have I. I just got so annoyed with the guy, like, stop it.
He actually does try to spoil things as well. Like, as soon as, I think when Rise of Skywalker was, before we went to see it at midnight, he was putting videos up of pictures of Palpatine's face and
was he?
Stuff like that.
Right. Okay. It's a bit lowbrow, isn't it?
People did it with Luke Skywalker the other week with Mandalorian. Like, I remember the show got released in our time at like 8 a.m. By 9 a.m., there was videos and saying Mark Hamill appears in.
Oh yeah, I mean, I stayed off social media. I had a social media blackout for a day.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's stupid, though. It is stupid. But they can't wait, can they? They know they're going to get all the views, and
Well, I was going to say, it's for the likes, it's for the clicks.
Yeah.
It's not actually because they want to ruin it for people.
Oh, it's because they know it's trending as well. As soon as an episode drops and people are watching it, it's going to trend, and they want to be in there with that trend so that their videos, gets picked up, they get the views and they get the clicks.
Well done to the show creators while we're on that for keeping that a secret for 12 months. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah, that was really
well.
Good.
Apparently, there were people who were on set, actors who didn't know. Who in the same room. Is it the woman who plays the Mandalorian? What's she called? Who's looks like she's going to eventually have to fight for the Darksaber. She didn't know Luke Skywalker was going to be
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah. Apparently, yeah, she had no idea.
What, Ming Na Wen? Is that her?
No.
Oh.
No, that's the bounty hunter with Fett.
Yes. Sorry, yeah. What did you mean? Oh, you meant Mando's, the one who gives him his armor?
No. The one right at the end of that last episode where you got the Mandalorian Bo-Katan, the character's called, and I can't remember the name of the actress.
Yes, sorry. Yes, it's the girl who was in Battlestar Galactica. She was stabbed in Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
Yeah, she had no idea Luke Skywalker was going to be the person, the actor, the character who appeared at the end. So they kept it that secret.
Yeah, they did do well. Sorry, just a minute. I'm just kind of looking up that because it's going to annoy me. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, she was Cara Thrace in. No, not Cara Thrace. That was the name of this new Star Wars character.
Matt, do you like Doomcock's voice? Just while
I love it. I love it.
Lucas Goldman, Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. So even though things like this, well, we'll get onto this in a minute.
Sorry, I had a total mental blank. It's Katie Sackhoff.
That's the one. That is the one. Yeah. Jesus. I think Doomcock is entertaining.
Very entertaining, but
very entertaining. But they could. Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there could be a grain of truth to this, but we'll discuss that anyway.
I think it's Mark Hamill.
By the way, in case anyone's interested in this guy, I don't know how many of the people watching this are autograph nerds like me, but Star Wars Autograph Universe have landed like huge signings for Star Wars. So they've got an exclusive send-in with Natalie Portman. They've got an exclusive send-in with Chris Hemsworth. They've got an exclusive send-in with Hayden Christensen. They've got an exclusive send-in with Rosario Dawson, and they've got Katie Sackhoff.
Right, wow.
As if Natalie Portman's doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah,
Portman's first ever signing.
Wow,
that'll just sell out.
It already did straight away. Away.
Hayden Christensen's did at his celebration the other year. Did it as well.
He did, and he did He did a signing for Official Picks recently, but Official Picks have got Ming Na Wen as an exclusive as well. So there you go.
I mind getting a Rosario Dawson autograph. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd probably get her on Clerks too. Anyway, well, let's get on with this Doomcock article. So. While Favreau and Filoni are working to erase the sequel trilogy entirely, others at Disney are considering remaking the sequel trilogy. He then details the sequel trilogy would be remade exclusively for Disney Plus, according to my source, with the story being spread out between 8 to 10 miniseries and 3 seasons of full series. Season 1 would present The Force Awakens 2.0. Season 2 would be The Last Jedi 2.0, and Season 3 would be The Rise of Skywalker 3.0, he explains. Doomcock continues, my source claims that while they will only change a little of The Force Awakens so as to reuse the Leia footage, he says they will most likely add one major thing, a reunion of Han, Luke, and Leia. At this point, I want to be very clear about what this means. My source is not talking about some CGI stunt here. My source is claiming that footage exists right now of Han, Luke, and Leia together. Really?
Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Now, my Hollywood spies have heard rumors that this footage exists before, but they were never able to get any details about it until now, Doomcock states. He adds, we asked this source if the footage takes place on the Millennium Falcon, but the source said no. This footage was shot on green screen. It is a 10-minute scene, but aside from that, my source said they have no idea what happens in that scene and have no idea how Lucasfilm would work that footage into any reboot. Later, Doomcock would reveal information about what The Last Jedi 2.0 remake would look like. He explains, as far as The Last Jedi 2.0 goes, my source claims that Disney would rename the second series. In it, Leia would die when she got sucked out into space, losing the ridiculous Mary Poppins flying sequence. And the result of the series would be completely different. And the same goes for The Rise of Skywalker. It would be 100% different as well. Doomcock claims that Mark Hamill would be open to returning to this alleged remake. The YouTuber states, my source claims that as long as Kathleen Kennedy is not involved in this reboot, and so long as he is in good health, Mark Hamill is open to coming back and giving Luke Skywalker a fitting ending. He then asserts, after The massive fan response to Mandalorian Season 2 finale and the return of Luke Skywalker, it's finally clear to Disney what fans have known all along. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars. The future ruler of Earth adds, the only reason in the minds of Disney executives is what the best way forward is. How can Star Wars be saved? This debate is why they are considering remaking the sequel trilogy on Disney+. As for why they may want to remake the sequel trilogy, Doomcock says many at Disney feel that there is too much invested in the sequels to just get rid of them totally. These people believe that retconning the sequel trilogy has many advantages. They can fix treatment of Luke Skywalker, redeem him after the disgraceful way Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy ran him into the ground, and as a bonus, that the remakes would be content for Disney+. And even better, even if they recast everyone, with the possible exception of Adam Driver, they could recycle most of the toys these days. Doomcock then relays that Lucasfilm is not just allegedly interested in remaking the sequel trilogy, but they are also interested in recasting the films as well. The YouTuber says this source confirmed that most of the parts would be recast, including the Amazing Wonder Ray. The one piece of this rumor that sticks out to me is the idea that they would be able to recycle the toys from the sequel trilogy. While that sounds like a win-win for Disney, the rumor also claims that they are open to recasting everyone except for maybe Adam Driver. If they are recasting people, one would think they would be making new toys based on the new actors playing these characters. They wouldn't be able to recycle the old toys. Plus, who in their right mind would want an old toy based on the old characters if they are more than likely to be making new toys based on the new characters? On top of this, the idea that they would recast John Boyega's Finn after all the negative PR they received after they catered to China by reducing his image on the poster for The Last Jedi. No, it was The Force Awakens, actually, wasn't it? And more than likely in the sequel trilogy overall, doesn't seem like something Disney would especially do now in 2021. They would just be begging for more negative PR. There are definitely some question marks about this latest rumor, and only time will tell if Disney and Lucasfilm actually do end up either erasing the sequel trilogy or remaking it. What do you think of this rumor?
Utter bullshit. It's never going to happen.
I can't see it.
Them saying that there's footage of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford in a 10-minute green screen. No,
I can't see that.
All the pictures of Mark Hamill leaked, didn't they?
Yeah.
We saw him in his Jedi robes like a year before we saw The Force Awakens, and same with Last Jedi. And no,
surely would have known about that already. It would have been some sort of behind the scenes,
yeah,
on a Blu-ray somewhere. You know,
it totally would have leaked.
I just realised that I'm actually drinking an possibly an on-trend Star Wars beer here.
No, go on.
Daya have produced a dipper which is called Saturated in Galaxy.
Oh.
So there you go. Sorry, continue.
But I'm not against the idea per se, as far as not to piss off people who love the sequels or anything. But if we continue in the story from The Mandalorian going forward, we know what's going to happen. I've said it before. And I think to make things a bit more spicy and interesting, you go off on a tangent, you change it, you twist it. There's something else happens in the timeline to alter the future. And it makes it a bit more exciting for the viewer, not knowing what's going to happen coming up. You know what I mean?
That's more believable.
Yeah, it's that sort of alternate reality. And both universes can exist at the same time, sort of thing. It's something that happens in the past to change the future. And for the viewer, if they're planning on making years and years of programming that lead up to the sequel trilogy, it's more exciting not to know what's going to happen. Having that twist somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that, Andy?
But to play devil's advocate,
yeah,
as prequel trilogy fans, which I am, I know you are as well, they could use that against us, saying you shouldn't have made the prequel trilogy because we knew what was coming in the original trilogy. But I didn't mind that. I like the prequels. But I know what you're saying about the Also, I messed up the other week. I said that they're doing all these TV shows and leading up to a cataclysmic event, they described it as. And I said that's the Battle of Jakku. The Battle of Jakku is 4 years before Mandalorian.
So it won't be that.
So,
no,
so
I'm glad what they're doing.
I'm glad because that means I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, you don't know what's coming. Yeah. And it's going to be something to do with Thrawn. I think they're doing a sort of a Thrawn trilogy. So to
Fingers
speak.
crossed.
Yeah. And that'll be the ultimate battle, if you like.
I can't wait for live action Thrawn. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Erasing the sequel trilogy, just from a business point of view, it's just not going to happen. But could I envisage the thing you were just talking about, like the World Between Worlds spinning off?
Yeah.
Yes, I could. Could you imagine that could work? I still can't see it though. Yeah, do you remember Super Shadow?
No.
During the prequel era,
cheers, Brian.
Like 1999 onwards, he started these websites. He was basically the Mike Zero of his day.
All right, okay.
For YouTube, saying he has all this inside information into Lucasfilm and on set with the Phantom Menace and stuff, and just utter bullshit. So yeah, Brian's right on that one for sure.
We could all have a source. My source says.
Yeah, a source close to Disney.
Yeah,
it could be a guy who works in a coffee shop near the Lucasfilm HQ.
Yeah,
he's a source. He's close to Disney, but he's never spoken to anyone there.
No. What I would say in terms of going up to the sequel trilogy and telling that era, I'm fascinated with why Luke Skywalker is the way he is in The Last Jedi. I want to see that. I know some fans, obviously, Matt, you probably don't, but I really do. I want to see what changed the hero of the original trilogy into what he was.
Bad writing. That's not.
Yeah.
But I want to see the events. I want to know what.
Well, there's only one event.
Yeah.
There's only one event.
What? Trying to kill his nephew?
In his sleep, yeah.
Yeah, but I know that. But you've got a point, actually, Andy. Like, I'd be kind of interested because it's like we don't really know anything. Like, there's one tiny there's the microscopic, there's the flashback of him trying to kill his nephew, and then there's like the microscopic clip of him putting his hand on R2-D2 as the temple burning down or whatever.
Yep.
But other than that, we don't know anything. Like, yes, he started training some Jedi. Han talks about he started training some new Jedi, and then he turned away from it. Like, there's got to be more to it than just Kylo Ren.
Well, it could be. I don't think they thought about that just yet, though.
Do you remember when we were in Matt's? I can't remember what season it was. Matt's attic in his old place.
Yeah,
and I was speculating how. I think it was Matt who asked me, like, how would you fix The Last Jedi? And I said, make it so that Luke is trapped on the island, that he has no choice and he cannot leave. And it's something to do with that dark presence underneath the island. And Rey awakened it when she went down to see what was there. Because he said, resist it, Rey, resist it, Rey, resist it, Rey, in the movie.
Yeah.
And make it so that it's a link with Palpatine. Like, Palpatine's got that powerful. He's corrupted the mind of Luke Skywalker without him even realizing it. And it was the dark side that made Luke into what he was.
That's brilliant.
Which is a metaphor for depression and mental illness.
Oh,
that's brilliant. Why didn't they do that?
That's what I would do with this, coming up to the sequels now. And then when you see The Last Jedi, you're like, fucking hell, that's how powerful Palpatine's become. And he's had 20 odd years, 30 years to do it as well. And if you don't want to do the Palpatine reveal, then you can use Snoke, who was Palpatine anyway. So you can they can keep the sequel trilogy. They make it better, in my opinion, and you can start to maybe bridge those gaps, those two divisions together. It won't do it, but it's on its way to doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing I said was Luke leaving the island. He can't leave the island until Snoke's been killed, which is what we see in The Last Jedi. Snoke gets killed. And then Luke does leave the island, but he doesn't because it's a Force projection.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he was only able to leave or do the Force projection because Snoke died. If you remember, I know, Matt, you've only seen Last Jedi once, haven't you?
The Last Jedi, no, I've seen it a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's one part where Snoke is terrified of Luke Skywalker. Throughout the film, he keeps saying, we must stop Skywalker. As long as he lives, hope remains in the galaxy and everything. So Snoke is afraid of Luke. So I'm guessing also maybe that scar is something to do with Luke. I don't know. But there's so many cool things you could do that could help ease the sequel trilogy for those fans who really dislike it.
Yeah, I think it'll take a storyteller of extraordinary skill to pull that off. Because I can't think of that much really that would soften the blow.
No, I know. But thinking that it's dark side corruption, like mental corruption, which is kind of what Palpatine does to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith.
True. Yeah. He plays on his weaknesses, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So if somebody does,
your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours.
Yeah.
I like it.
God, that dialogue is so good. that Luke Skywalker, Palpatine, Vader, Throne Room Jedi. It's peak Star Wars for me. I love it.
It is. Oh, you're never going to beat the original trilogy.
No, and I never expected it to. Even when I watched the prequels.
No. Yeah. You know,
they can't knock it out of the park every time, and they definitely like on Red Letter Media. Rich Evans, the one who has the laugh, which is almost as ludicrous as my laugh, says that The Empire Strikes Back is the linchpin that's holding this house of cards together in this cinematic universe. And I'm like, it's a bit unfair, but I have to agree with him. It's the one where all the fans are like, yeah, Empire's great, and the critics say it's great, but the others, and not A New Hope. A New Hope's very good as well. So Empire and A New Hope are the ones that hold it all together. The credible, the acting, score, everything.
Yeah.
But the others, I'm like, I can't defend those.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's what he says.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He just said that Empire is the linchpin that holds this thing together. And he says it's made too much money for them to not stop making Star Wars films.
Yeah.
It's something that... See, I feel like I have quite a healthy relationship with Star Wars because I say some very disparaging things about it. I genuinely think it's
just an ordinary fan then. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But I do a certain part of Star Wars.
It's like, is it this thing that just struck gold? It was just a very good series of accidents, and then you get A New Hope and Empire, and it's nominated for Oscars, it's credible, etc., and it just got out of hand. And then at one point, people are like, I just don't know what to do with this universe anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I mean, the original Star Wars movie, the first one, Star Wars: A New Hope, it's a feel-good movie at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. It's darker than people remember, though. When Luke returns to the homestead.
Oh, yes.
Vader's choking people by lifting them off the ground in the first scene. And I've always thought, why is the tone of A New Hope remembered as very positive? And I think that's just because of the way it ends.
Yeah.
It is a feel-good movie. I think you're right. But I think people in their memories, until you remind them, they don't remember that there's some pretty dark things in that movie.
There are.
Alderaan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like people went, oh, Empire's so much darker. I'm like, it is in tone, but in terms of things that happen, is it actually darker? It is for our heroes.
I've ordered the 4K Blu-ray as well of A New Hope. So
just that one.
Just that one for now. Yeah.
It's the best one.
Yeah, got to start somewhere, and it's got to be that one.
Ironically, the best looking Star Wars film on 4K is The Rise of Skywalker. But if you want, George in the George Lucas 6, it's A New Hope. It's phenomenal. I can't believe how old that film is.
I know.
I've seen Rise of Skywalker 2.5 times. So
2.5.
2.5.
Right. Yeah, I've seen it. 1.01 times.
1.01.
No, sorry. Yeah, I've sort of watched the first 5 minutes of the second viewing, and I thought, nah. Put A New Hope on or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought, nah, can't be bothered.
Well, there you go. So,
there you go.
YouTube
Brian says, nailed it, Andy.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Because Flynn had his spirit broken, didn't he? When he was, do you know what? I watched Tron Legacy on Sunday. I hadn't seen it for a while, and I will defend that film.
We love that movie.
Yeah,
you love that movie.
Tron Legacy. Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah,
it's so good.
It's great. I love the music. I love the soundtrack.
Oh, Daft Punk. Yeah, it was amazing.
They nailed it.
But it's great. Absolutely fantastic movie.
As we have said. Yeah, good call, Brian. As we have said before, I don't know how anyone can't like that film. I don't.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. When I was watching it, I was like, some of the dialogue's corny, but I don't care. The design is phenomenal. Some of the best film design I've ever seen, actually. The visual effects are incredible for considering the 11 years ago. I know, obviously, Kevin Flynn doesn't look great. It's the first de-aging CG thing, deep fake we ever got. It's not
bad.
It's not. Do you know what? It's not too distracting because they're in that digital world.
Yeah.
They had a really cool way of getting around that, and that's it being there. But I love that film. I think it's great. I'm not like Paddy is, but I'm not a big fan of Tron. Really, I watched it once and that was enough. But Tron Legacy, I don't think it deserves the hate it gets.
I love Tron as well.
How much hate did it get? Because I've not really heard any.
What do you say, Paddy?
I love the whole world of Tron, the whole concept of it.
That's what the guy Jay in Red Letter Media says. He says, I don't think it's a particularly good film, but this was back in 2011, and he was saying, but I've watched this film more than any other this year. And he said, I don't know what it is. And he said, maybe it's because I love the world. Yeah, he loves the world. I know there was someone I went to school with, can't remember his name, who loved Star Wars, but didn't necessarily like the movies, like the books in the EU. And he said, when I watch the films, it's just, I like seeing that world, but I don't actually like the movies. And then he said, when I read the books, I can fill it in with the visuals from the film. And he just said, I like the world, I don't like the movies. And I was like, that's crazy to me. But I understand. I totally understand it, because that's the relationship I have with Tron Legacy as well.
Yeah.
Tron 3.
Yeah. Coming to Disney Plus.
In the thick of it, a guy says, one of the minister's aide says, that's a terrible thing. That's never going to happen. It's like that third Tron film that nobody's waiting for. And I'm like, no, don't say that. I am.
We're waiting for it.
Yeah.
For it. But we don't. We want to see Cora and we want to see Sam Flynn back. We want to know what happens to him.
Garrett Hudland is his name, is it?
Yeah, Garrett. Garrett. Yeah, Garrett Hegland. Is it Hegland? He's the guy who directed it, wasn't he?
Oh, I can't remember.
Sorry, no, hang on. I'm getting confused with the guy who played Sam. Yeah. That's Garrett Hegland. I can't remember the name of the director. And we want to see Cora back as well, because she was just yummy and a brilliant character. Anyway,
great film.
On that note, talking about Tron on a Star Wars podcast.
I'm going to talk about Batman for a second, actually, if you don't mind.
You are?
Can I talk about Batman for 5 seconds? I was watching Batman Begins. I got the 4K set 2 weeks ago, and all these guys come into Bruce's house near the end with Liam Neeson. And I was
One of them is Spencer Wilding.
I was like, is that Spencer Wilding?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know he was in Batman as well. He's one of the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to stick that. I've got the Blu-ray down here. Yeah, I'm going to stick that on later.
Yeah, when they go to the mansion at the end and Bruce pretends to be a bit drunk and sends all his guests home, there's a still shot of Spencer.
Right.
He's one of Liam Neeson's henchmen.
I'd love to get Spencer on for a proper chat again, because last time it was a bit not that great because his line wasn't too flash, but
it was the headphones situation.
Yeah. If we get him on again for a more clearer conversation.
Let's get him in person.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, the Star Wars on Fun Day has been cancelled again until later in the year, so it's going to be wild.
No, we're not even looking at May for a con yet.
No.
Bloody hell. Oh, well, I'm sure we'll get there.
We will.
We're going to get out of here, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. And please don't forget, we never say this anymore. Please don't forget to like and subscribe or follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we are now rebroadcasting on Twitch, so you can follow us on there. So we'll be back next week for more of the same, and then the week afterwards we will be back with our special guest Mickey Lewis. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and may the force be with you.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, hang on. I forgot where I think. Forgot where the videos are. Oh, they're over here. Right, okay. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Hey up.